Here we go! Let's play!
Hey, this is Rosewood59 here. Today I'm going to show you guys how to make a Super Mario question mark pencil holder to put your favorite mushroom pencils inside. Alright, so for making your question mark Super Mario box, basically what you're going to do is you can use any scrap material you got left over for a project, which I'm using pine. But your first thing is you got to find the image. I found the image on the internet and I put it into my program, Make the Cut, and then I cut it out with my Cricut machine, so I've got a nice square image. But if you don't have it, all you have to do is find a picture on the internet, print it out on your printer, and just cut it out with some scissors, and you've got your own template. So basically I just kind of played around with the size that I want to get, because there's different sizes. You can do a large one, a small one, whatever size basically works for you. And so basically what you want to do is take your scrap piece. This is just MDF just to show you guys. But you basically just take a piece and you put it on, and then you just take your pencil and just make a mark so you basically know where you're cutting on the table saw. And you just want to make 4 pieces in the same width down, and then you're going to do the same thing once you cut on the table saw. You're going to do the exact same thing. Only thing is if you've got a longer piece, you just want to measure off this way so that you can cut it. So basically what you're left with then is your square. I don't know if you guys can see that there, but you're left with that basically of a square that would look like this. And once you've got this piece all ready to go, then what you basically want to do, because you'll have 4 of all of these the same, is kind of put it together. And you can use elastic to hold it in place and everything. And basically when you turn it around, you guys can see I got a smaller piece. Because obviously you can't use too large of a piece because then it would be too big. And all I did was I just minus 2 3/4 from each end of this piece of wood, because you've got one large one, minus about 2 3/4. That way then I could figure out how I wanted the box. Now you could leave it bigger if you wanted to, but the whole point is to have each one corner exactly the same. And then for the bottom, I just put the elastic basically around it, held it in place, and then just from my scrap piece of pieces that I had left over from cutting from the material, then I just basically cut it into the right size of the box to make sure it fit. And I just put the elastic around it to make sure it's all nice and tight. What I did now is I put a little bit of bead of glue around each area, and I got it together with the elastic. I already did some pin nails because it kind of goes a little bit all over. I can also use some clamps. I can use some clamps here for support, just to keep it all nice. And so basically I kind of got just one area left here. I stapled, I believe, every area. All I did is I put 1 2 3 and then 1 2 3 on the bottom as well. So I'm just going to go ahead here, and I'm just using 1-inch pin nailers. And I'm just going to do one here in the middle. And just making sure it's nice and square and everything for it. And elastic does help for the support. So that's pretty much it. So the next step, basically what you have to do is sand everything nice and smooth. Alright, so now that I finished doing my sanding and I routed just a little bit of the corner, just with a 45-degree router bit, just to kind of give it that little bit angle look from the box that they have. So now that I've sanded, everything is all nice and smooth, filled any holes or any nicks. Next thing is to paint it yellow, and I'm just using Rust-Oleum Painter's Touch Yellow Gloss, and any fine brush will do. I'm going to start painting here in the inside, And you want to work your inside and all the way out. You just want to give it a nice, some generous kind of coat, and just make your way. I'm going to do about 3 coats or so. All right, so what you want to do now is get your template that you have, and you just want to tape it on top for in position. And what I did was, again, I used my Cricut machine, and this is just contact paper with a sticky backing that you can get at Walmart or anywhere else. And I just painted 2 coats with white and just some gold craft paint. I just did a couple of coats on top of that. And now basically what you want to do is, after you've cut it all out, the Cricut machine I just had cut it out, and of course I painted ahead of time and then I cut it out. And then what you want to do now is just grab your question mark and just kind of go where you put your template. Carefully here as we do it, and pretty much lines up. And we'll do the same thing here on the bottom. And just add top parts. It's not exactly perfect, but just enough, because I mean it's just a template guide, so it's just there just to roughly show you what it is. There's one there. And put this one here at the bottom. And there is your very own question mark box. So when we're all done building it, it'll look something like this on all 4 corners. I think it looks fantastic. I think it turned out really cool. And to add a little extra detail, I made these little cool pencil mushrooms, and I'll kind of go over quickly how I made it. Basically all I used was a regular pencil, and I just cut off the metal of the eraser part. I just used, you can use a hacksaw or whatever. It's called a Japanese saw I got from Lee Valley, and I just cut it right off. And then these little mushroom caps, you can get them in the trim aisle. I bought them at Home Depot. They're more like they're called mushroom caps or so, but they're meant for woodworking. So if you put in a screw and you countersink it, you can just, some little detail, you can just put it on top so it looks, you don't see the screw. I'll put a link on the idea I got it from. What they did was online is they painted. And I didn't want to have all these different colors of paint because it does kind of get expensive or so. So I just glued it together with some crazy glue, Crayola markers, and just put different colors that I wanted. And once it was dried, then I put some clear nail polish on top. Now when you put clear, you could put like a clear coat of anything else on if you wanted to. I just used nail polish because it dries faster and it has a little bit of that sheen to it, shiny. The only thing is, because it's Crayola markers, obviously they do run a little bit, but I just wiped off the brush before I dipped it back in the clear nail polish. And then I just grabbed the end of the paintbrush and just dipped it in the white paint and just dipped on top all these little dots. So you just have to make sure that when you dip them on dots, because I found sometimes some of them I kind of got happy faces on some of them. So if you stare hard enough, you can get a happy face. But I just kind of do it randomly, and I think it's a neat little design. You just have to sharpen them, and then you've got your own little pencil holder. Hope you guys like it. If you guys have any questions or comments, let me know. Thanks for watching.